I'm Superantonio. And we're live. Greetings, friends. Happy Friday. And welcome back to Free Roam Fridays, where we free roam with Arthur in Chapter 2. And I have to tell you that tonight's thumbnail is false. It is patently untrue. It is a lie. It is fake news. This footage is not from the PS5. It is from the PS4. I could have changed the thumbnail. I didn't bother. No. Just couldn't be bothered. Everything else about this video is true, more or less. You cannot get the liver chestnut Hungarian half-bred without using a PC mod. Yes, we are playing on PS4. However, we altered the game files with a PC, which you can do, apparently. Miko Herptile, channel mod Miko Herptile says says hello Super Antonio, City mods, and everyone. Greetings, Miko. Happy Friday, or Saturday in your case. I'm glad you're here. And we're all turned around. That is not an HH. That is a Palomino, gold Palomino. Tennessee Walker. Still an incredibly pretty horse, though. One of the prettiest coats for a common horse. Wish the stats were better, because that might be the prettiest common horse in the game. Sadie's here. She's very tired and she's very interested in the potent canine bait that I keep on the desk. And we have, I was worried about this. We have no Driscoll ambush. Old Dutch's chained Sally. What is a chained Sally? I meant to look that up. I didn't. So we're also going to get a free brindle. We have to get a free brindle, and then we go to Sean's party, and then we deal with Mary and Jane. Cloudy is here. Cloudy says howdy y'all. Greetings, Cloudy. Welcome, friend. Happy Friday. Deal with these jokers. Shoot the brindle last. And then you cannot lasso, and I used to follow and try to calm. It's not really difficult to calm, but just get close and either jump on him or just jump off your horse and run to him. Run to her, and she's relatively easy. Hup. And the horse is going to say, nope, that's okay, don't panic. Just run. Don't panic. Miko says, hey, Cloudy. And we're going to bring this brindle back to camp. Spoiler alert, we're not keeping him, we're just keeping her for the video. Cloudy says, hi, Miko. How's everyone? Have some hay. How's your Friday? You made it to the weekend. It's the end of your week and start of mine. We will be streaming all weekend long. We have Free Roam Fridays, as always. This is Arthur's channel, and then Saturday is The Last of Us. The Last of Us Part 1. And Sundays is a Batman stream. My parents are dead. I'm having a lot of fun with Batman Arkham Knight. It is technically my new favorite game. And it's generated or inspired a new love and appreciation for Batman and the Batman universe and all those characters. It's fun. It's fun. And it is challenging. I would say, I've said it before, that it is the most challenging game we've played on this channel. That I personally played, but that doesn't mean it's not fun.
Okay then.
Got my green tea. Papa 1 and Mama 1 are here. Everyone say hi to Papa 1 and Mama 1. Papa 1 says, hey, gang, and Mama 1 says, hey, family. Mama 1, I had a Coke float. A Coca-Cola float. With caramel ice cream, and it was delicious, and I thought of you. Those Coca-Cola, I think you make Coca-Cola brownies, or a Coca-Cola chocolate cake. I just wanted to get rid of the long gun. That's why we got back on the horse, and then we're going to deal with Sean. Miko says, hello, Mama 1 and Papa 1. Next week, we'll be back to our PS5 playthrough. Papa 1 says, hey, Miko, hope you are well, and Mama 1 says, hey, Miko. If I have to whip him, I will. Sean.
Have lots of fun.
Reven, 1972, says, hello all. Greetings, Reven.
Even you grumpy old bastard, Arthur.
Let's enjoy ourselves. Uh-oh, here comes
Poor Sadie is tired, but she's happy to be here.
All right there.
I suppose.
You're looking lovely.
Miko says, hey, Reven.
Oh, stop it.
They're going to sing the Louisville Maid. And we're going to... I think we have... we already have a recording of this song, but we're going to play through it again. It's quite naughty. It's a very naughty song. Mom once says, Super Antonio, I make a Coca-Cola cake with homemade vanilla ice cream. Yeah, that sounds delicious. It sounds better than what I had, but I was very happy with it. And Reven says, hey, Miko. How are you, Reven? Happy Friday. Cloudy says, Super Antonio, I was playing with mods today and I played as Arthur after the epilogue. Abigail said, what took you so long to visit? We thought you were gone. Wow, there's extra dialogue. That's amazing. Had no idea. Cloudy says, howdy, Mama 1, Papa 1, and Reven. I'm very excited with what AI is going to do for video games. Even though there's one AI company that just completely went under because it actually wasn't AI. It was like 700 Indians from India pretending to be AI. What's that about? That's kind of like the Matrix. They were just using these humans to text Westerners who were paying a fee and pretend to be AI. They were like a human AI, which is just called I. Papa one says, I love the parties the gang throws in the game. We used to have a great time in our younger days. Ironically, we had more fun living in tents and camping than we did building our ranch house. Well, you know, that just goes to show that it's the journey, not the destination. I love how Mary Beth asks Arthur, the tone of her voice, the yearning and the adoration, but also the shyness and the awkwardness, just all in, you know, will you dance with me, Arthur? And all in 5 words. It's wonderful. And I'll never say no to Mary Beth. Of course we'll dance with you. I'd be happy to. Mom one says, hey, Cloudy. Reven says, hey, hi, Cloudy. Papa one says, Cloudy, hope you are well. Do a little flair. Arthur knows how to dance. But he probably hasn't really danced since Mary, who he's going to see later on in this episode. I am amazed. This is a fully updated RDR2, and it has not. And this glitch, this exploit, has not been fixed. It has not been patched. Further proof that Rockstar has abandoned this game. They just don't care. But, you know, I'm sure at Rockstar headquarters it's all hands on deck to get GTA 6 out. Cloudy says, I'm doing good. I might get a new job from a farm in a different town. How have you been, Papa One? Might as well get something to eat. Check on Sadie. Mrs. Adler. Not you, Sadie. Sorry it's so dark. Papa One says, we also used to live out of tents when we would go to catch feral horses. You can still get feral horses today. It's just a lot of paperwork and red tape. Back in the 90s, you could get as many as you want.
Hello. What do you want?
Sadie's back under the desk.
This keeps happening. How are you doing, Mrs. Adler?
Not really in the party mood.
I assume Mrs. Adler borrowed those clothes from the gals, probably from Abigail. She seems to be closest with Abigail.
Sean will make your life hell when he finds out you're an O'Driscoll.
And Kieran's working,
Just be grateful you're alive.
trying to make himself useful, and he knows he can't really join in the festivities. I'm sure if Kieran had survived or had joined the gang 5 years earlier, he would be just as beloved and popular as Sean. Papa One says, I'm doing great, Cloudy. Broke some horses, and me and Mama One got our delivery of some of our livestock. We got a new cow and some rabbits and ducks. We gave the horses and farm dogs bath, and Mama One made a great meal. It's been a fantastic day. Papa One, honestly, it's been a fantastic life. You know, when you string all those days together like that, it equals a fantastic life, and you should be proud. Cloudy says the only reason Rockstar stopped updating this game is because it doesn't make them money like GTA Online. Exactly, Cloudy. My point exactly. We cannot go into John's tent. However, we can get him a boarskin rug, which I suppose we'll do on the PS5 because, you know, Arthur does like his pork chops, but that really doesn't seem fair that we can give him a rug, but we can't even go in his tent. We can go in Dutch's tent.
Well, he's back.
Bill and John are enjoying a beer.
Oh, you can talk.
John is careful not to sit too close to Bill. Bill might ask John if he wants to sit on his lap.
Don't feel too sudden to me. Just when
What's
the
that
drinks
about?
come out. Anyway,
Because it's a little chilly on Horseshoe Overlook. There's Molly. Your countryman's back.
turns.
Apparently.
Well, enjoy.
Molly's lonely. I honestly believe Molly's lonely because she can't hang out with the girls anymore. She only has Dutch. It's a bad trade. She thought she'd get she'd upgrade her status, and in some ways she did, but she also made herself unavailable for you know, for friends, for socialization. Miko says, I saw another video that claimed a next-gen update will be arriving for Red Dead Redemption 2. I looked into that, Miko. That rumor, and I believe it is a rumor, and I believe it is wishful thinking. And I don't think it'll happen, personally. Pop One says, I'm so blessed with how my life turned out. I've been blessed with my beloved wife, and then I got to live the dream. Never give up. It's always worth the hard work. Very well said, Papa One, and we are blessed to have you in this chat and part of this community. Reven asks, Super Antonio, what is your favorite revolver in the game? I like the handles, you know, because the revolvers to me are all interchangeable in terms of performance. I know people like the Schofield. So I like Flacco's handle. I like the ivory engravings.
Dear Arthur,
What else?
I've
The
written this
Gamblers.
letter 100 times
The
or
High
more,
Roller
and I cannot
revolver.
get it right.
As
me.
far as
You know it's me
that
from
doesn't really
bad
count because it's a
handwriting.
pistol. I do like the
I know I
volcanic as
said
far
when
as
we last
accuracy
spoke, and I was
and
going off
reload
to
rate
get
goes.
married,
But
we
if
would
I'm going to
not
be in a
speak again.
firefight, I want a long
I
gun.
know I said
I want a
lot of
Lancaster.
things, and I meant them. I
Good
suppose,
old
at
Lanky.
the time, but I'm not so proud as to not speak to people who care for me.
So yeah,
or cared
revolvers
for
are
me.
mostly for
I've been a
aesthetics.
Valentine
So I
for a
want a
couple
nice looking
months.
handle.
I had
That's
some
Flacco's, and then I just
bad
load that with
luck,
explosive
and,
rounds, so you
well,
get one-shot
It's
kills.
a long story and not an interesting one.
Note that
but I
Mary
am
says
here
it's
for
me.
now.
You can
I saw
tell
a
by
couple of
my
girls,
poor
or
handwriting, when in
whatever
fact
the
she has
polite
exquisite
term is for them,
handwriting.
that ran with you and your associates in town, and I heard tell
Dear
of a man
Arthur.
who sounded like you. I would love to see you again if you could spare me a little bit of your
I
time.
bet you all the
I'm
girls
renting a room at Chadwick
all
Farm,
already read
just
this
north of
letter
Valentine.
because it came to Tacitus. Tacitus
Mary
Kilgore. Arthur got a letter. It's from Mary. Did you ever meet
Mr.
Mary?
Morgan, can I?
Who's
Are
Mary?
you okay?
Yes. I was miles away, I'm afraid.
So it seems. Anyway.
And then interesting,
it's that fellow Downs.
Herr Strauss is going to make us visit
We lent him quite a
Mr.
sum.
Downs, which we will do.
Seems like he has little intention of repaying us. He was quite ridiculous when I went to see him. You've not been to see him yet, I take it?
I'm sorry, Herr Strauss. I had a lot on.
Reven says,
I'll go give
yeah,
him
I
a
carry
gentle reminder.
Flacco's
Not
and
so
Granger's.
gentle. I don't
And
like his kind.
Mom one says, Callaway's revolver is my favorite.
As you wish.
I always have that. I always dual wield Schofields as well. I customize the two so they are similar to Dutch's. It makes sense. Arthur would want to copy Dutch. Sorry, I got a dog hair in my eye. So I'm trying to deal with that. I got something in my eye. I'm not crying, you're crying. See, game will not let us go anywhere except back to the Downs Ranch. However, there is a 3-star oxen pelt there that we can pick up for Arthur's rug. Pop One says, I can guarantee everyone in camp read the letter, Super Antonio. From personal experiences, if you're a tight group, your friends read your letters and mess with you. Yes, I agree. Especially, you know, there's no entertainment. The only entertainment in this group, in this gang, is the campfire. Unless you go into town and see a moving picture show. But, you know, and then you will go back to camp and you will tell everyone the story and the experience that you had over the campfire. And that's the entertainment. So, yeah, if Arthur gets a letter, especially with the girls, the gals, I'm sure they were very interested in that. The boys, maybe not so much.
Yep.
Pretty much straight lining it back to Mr. Downs' ranch. And I usually skip the cutscene, but I didn't for this video. So we get to see the moment, the exact moment that he gets infected. Three-star Angus oxen. He'll get one in the eyeball. Pow! And no worries, that 3-star Angus oxen is only sleeping. We could pick up some of those pigs for the trapper, but we did not. Papa One says, one reason I love this game, it is accurate to how horse ranchers live in a camp setting, how some of the Vanderland gang members get in fights or arguments only to immediately have each other's back is close to home. Yeah, you fight amongst yourselves, but you come together as a unit, as a team against outside forces. My one complaint about Boadicea, the liver chestnut Hungarian half-bred, is she gets dirty. That coat requires brushing literally every half mile.
Whatever do you want? Oh, come here, you maggot.
Please, sir. I'll...
Really? Threaten me, would you?
Please. I have a family, sir. Please.
I don't care about your family. You owe me money.
Oh, and you won't really see it here, but Arthur has Batman reflexes,
There's a reason I'm here.
and it's going to be obvious very soon.
You borrowed money from my business partner, Hash.
Arthur's used to driving the Batmobile now, and he kind of
wants it
forgot
back
what to
what's
do
not to
on a
understand.
horse. There, that's the moment.
I'm
See, he
money.
spits it out. He spits the blood out.
Sell your place.
We already owe more than it's worth.
Then sell
Here
your
comes
wife,
Mrs. Down
pay a
and
family or something.
and Downs
Create
Jr.
your idea of charity. Is that clear?
Thomas!
What are you looking at?
Thomas!
I said what
She's
you
gonna
looking
have
at,
to
woman.
open an
Husband isn't
OnlyFans.
well. If we could just have
You'd think the
more.
boy,
Like I said, we
he
ain't
has to be,
nobody's
he
ideas.
seems like
Get us the
he's
money.
old enough to get a job and support his mama. And I know, yeah, he gets a job in, in the mines, but he should already have a job. There should be 2 incomes coming. They shouldn't even have to have borrowed from Herr Strauss. Mama One says, I'm looking into getting Boadicea for my game. Ask me anything you want, Mama One. I'm happy to help you. It's very easy. I looked up your video and you said it replaced the reverse dapple back thoroughbred, which is my favorite. Is there any way I could get the Hungarian half-bred to replace a different breed? Yeah. Yeah, you just have to... Whatever horse you're riding, you have to know the hex code for that horse. Okay? So literally any horse in the game. And then, but I like to replace Boadicea with another Hungarian half-bred. So I'm sure the stats will be similar, because I'm not convinced that these stats are unique to the horse. I think this is just a skin over whatever horse you had before, if that makes any sense. So I like to replace a Hungarian with a Hungarian. So just get a chestnut, a regular chestnut, HH. And, a male or a female, whichever you prefer. Interesting, the Jamie exploit only
how did you get
reproduces
on? Not so
males.
good.
We are going to get a
He's
male
almost dead.
liver
They
chestnut
seem more or
HH.
less
Spoiler
destitute.
alert.
You were a fool for lending them the money.
Well, people who aren't desperate don't seem so interested in my propositions.
Of course.
Papa One thinks, I think Archie works the farm like his dad did. Yeah, I assume. And Miko says, especially in Valentine, the horse gets muddy just by walking around. In Clemens Point, you always have that red dust coating on you. Yes. A lot of horse maintenance.
We're gonna run out of meat here soon if we're not careful. Many thanks, Mr. Morgan. You know, Arthur.
Sadie
I can
does
always
like
make
her
you a new
coffee.
satchel if you're tight on space.
And this the boarskin table cover, I love this table. I would get this table in real life. I would love to have that table.
A few changes never hurt.
Cloudy says they got rich making a living off a golf business, right? Who did, Cloudy? Mama one says, I seen on the wiki that the liver chestnut supposedly has the same stats as the brindle, thoroughbred, and reverse dapple black. I have to look into that. I don't recall. Okay, let's go see Jamie. Well, let's go see Mary and then Jamie.
Let's go, girl.
The brindle is here as a temp horse. Regrettably, when we bring back the second liver chestnut to HH, that horse will vanish. You're only allowed to have one temp horse at any time.
Easy there, girl.
Yeah, if you have a PC already, Mama One, what did I use? Save Wizard. That was the program that I used. It's only like $50. They take PayPal. And there's a bunch of other games on there as well, in addition to Red Dead Redemption 2, and some of the Resident Evil ones. But yeah, there's probably other games on there that you play that you could fool around with.
Will somebody help me out?
Forgot about Mickey.
I was in the army.
Papa One says the only thing I dislike about the gang's camp is the tent where Javier and Lenny and the juniors sleep. Doesn't cover anything. They sleep in the rain or mud and the heat. You would think that tents would offer more protection. Even Hosea, Bill, and Charles has more coverage than those guys. Yeah, everybody should get a tent like Dutch's. You know, with a wood floor. And I think the gals should just sleep in the wagons. Nobody should be sleeping on the ground. And it really upsets me that oxen skin rug in Arthur's room, in Arthur's tent, is on the ground. Mama One says, I'm sorry to bombard you with questions, Super. That's what I'm here for, Mama One. I need to be a resource for you guys. And the one thing I know intimately,
Yes?
besides training dogs, is this game.
Is Mrs. Linton in?
I'll go see.
I think she's a lady running a boarding house. I think she would have a shotgun. I think a shotgun would be far better and far more intimidating for home defense. You're holding it with you're holding it with two hands. It's very intimidating. It's point blank.
Mary?
You'll be fine.
I heard you and your friends was around.
Here's Mary.
Okay. Where's what's his name?
She's a widow.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Arthur's very respectful.
Happened a while ago.
Took his hat off,
Pneumonia.
as one
Bad
does,
Sure.
is in the presence of ladies.
Well, you've been...
Papa One says, my dad had a tent
Come here
that fit a
for
queen-size
me, is that it?
cot,
No,
and he had a
not
heater
that,
and later on
Arthur.
fans in there.
Okay.
He had an area with a small desk for paperwork and
Listen,
places to keep his
Arthur,
books and supplies. See, much like Dutch's
I'm-
tent.
My family. I need your help.
You mean the family that always looked down
Got
on
some
me?
pressed
You
flowers
want me to help?
It's my little
on an
brother,
outside wall.
Jamie.
It seems like an odd place.
I always liked Jamie. At least compared to the rest of them.
Look at that view. You'd think you'd have some chairs
You've
set up
broken
there
Daddy's heart.
so you could enjoy your morning coffee with
Don't
that
make me beg you,
magnificent
Arthur.
view.
Money, my life. Me. I wasn't good enough.
I'm sorry. We need your help real bad. Little Jamie's joined the Chelonians, that strange religious order.
Good for him.
They're quite mad, Arthur. They'll kill
Papa once
him.
says, me and
You're
Mama
the
one's
only
tent was
person
similar
they
to
listen
his,
to.
So,
but had an area where we would have a storage area for food and stuff. Our
it's
cot
okay
was
to
a
ask
king
me for
size
help in saving
air
your
mattress on a
sorry.
cot,
I understand
and
if
we
you
had a
don't
small
wanna help
heater
me, but
stove.
I think of you often.
That's always been one of my favorite shots. With them in profile
begging
and
ya,
the mountains
Arthur.
in the
I
background.
say let Jamie live Jamie's life and not the nightmare that his daddy dreamed up for him.
Jamie's so innocent, Arthur. Please, Arthur. Will you help me?
Saw a trailer for Resident Evil 9. Of course we'll help
Where is it?
Mary.
Somewhere out near Carmody Dell, I think.
Look beautiful,
Rancher there
looks,
said
but
he'd
it looks like
seen him
it's
around the
first person.
Cumberland Forest.
However,
I just want him back.
they're introducing a new
If you
character,
find him,
Gwen.
bring him to
She's
me
an
at the
FBI
station.
I'll
analyst.
see what I can do.
And
I'll owe you.
they had a scene where she's
already
like
own-
talking to her supervisor, the special agent in charge, black guy. And his suit was all wrong. I mean, it's like the detail, the hair technology is really improved. It looks like hair. it's amazing. But, he was wearing a blue suit, and the fabric looked good. The way it was wrinkling and falling was great. But however, he's not wearing, no pocket square, which I don't think, he would have had, but, no American flag pin. And he was wearing a red tie that didn't fall to the right length. It was like right above his waistline, so there's a gap. And it just, it's like subtle details like that that give away the age and inexperience of the developers. Because they're so good with hair, but they don't, they just miss these tiny little details. We're looking for a Biscuit's mom. Sometimes she hangs out at this corner that they just miss because they've never worn suits and they don't know anyone who wears suits, and they've never even watched, movies and TV where men are wearing suits. It's super annoying. Yolt's Rage. Greetings, friends. Says, hi, Super Antonio. What are you talking about? This and that. The Resident Evil 9 trailer. And Yoltz says, hi, hello, Papa One and everyone. Mom One says, can you keep two of the same horses, like two Biscuits or two Boadicias? Yes, you can, Mama One. However, and I think I mentioned this in the video, that you can't use the stables anymore. You have to access it through the horse station. The stables get glitched out. You can only enter the stables with a traditional in-game horse. So that's what you got to do. You have to keep one like real horse so that you can go in and out at the stables and get supplies, get apples and horse survivors and stuff like that. Yoltz says, happy Friday, everyone. Miko says, hello, Yolt's Rage. And Yoltz says, hope you're doing well. Doing quite well, friend. Thank you for asking. Thanks for being here. Welcome to the stream. And happy Friday. Yolt says, Super Antonio, what can you say about the trailer 2 of GTA 6. I didn't see the second one. I didn't even know they released it. I don't know if I'm looking forward to that game. Pushed it back a year, I think, so that I think the devs anticipated a different outcome to the election, and now they've got to remove all of those elements that they added that they thought would sell well. So a lot of NPCs with pink hair are going to go back to their original colors. So that's why they need a year. I think they're doing massive rewrites and probably reshoots just to make the game more current. So I don't know. I'm not looking forward to it. I feel I'm going to be disappointed. And all we can do is wait and see. Mr. Maddie's here. Mr. Maddie says, Happy Friday, Super Antonio. What's your top 3 horses for John and Arthur? I like Rachel for John and the Tiger Mustang. John looks better on the smaller horses. What's that about? He looks fine on the Arabians. He's the right size. And then for Arthur, of course, it's a silver Dapple Pinto Missouri Foxtrotter, the Piebald Tobiano HH, and the Brindle Thoroughbred. Mom once says, we are going to a livestock auction tomorrow. We are looking for different breeds of rabbits and ducks. We all know Papa One is going to buy a horse, LOL. Mama One, I watch an Amazon Prime show called Clarkson's Farm, which is about Jeremy Clarkson, former TV presenter for a car show called Top Gear. It's really, he's already on season 4. But the reason I mention this is because he went to a cattle auction. And so I just, I just watched that last night. So we are of similar minds. And yeah, I love Clarkson's Farm. Can highly recommend it. Just shows what a thankless and yet inspiring job farming is. Shell of safety. The turtles are in a shell of safety. Mom one says, hey, Mr. Maddie. And Papa one says, Mr. Maddie, hope you are well. And Mr. Maddie says, thanks, Papa one.
Still searching, I guess.
Mom one, I prefer, honestly, the Piebald Tobiano. I like the black and white color scheme.
What do we search for, do you think?
The red horse is, note the leader doesn't have the turtle insignia. He gets some sort of pendant. And they're all wearing sandals because they are smelly hippies. They really should grow their hair out. That'd be funny. Because they're hippies. Probably all vegetarians too. Okay, here comes Jamie. Jamie's gonna run. Arthur has Batmobile skills right now. He's gonna completely forget what to do. In 3, 2, 1. So embarrassing. It's a completely different beast, the Batmobile. You can't push forward on the L stick with the Batmobile. You have to push forward on the L with with the darn horse. And it's going to get confusing for Arthur in a minute. It's very embarrassing. I used to be so good at this back in the day. Sorry. Here we go. But, Jamie's not going anywhere. We could have just muscled through that with the Batmobile. Papa one says, ironically, in real life, Morgans and Tennessee Walkers are great horses and pretty fast. They're great horses in this game, but I mean, I love all the horses in this game, but, you know, there's a status to them, and there are horses that do better on the channel. Definitely horses that are more popular. That is part of the reasons why I value
Let's talk about this.
the high-end horses
What are you gonna
to get more
do,
views.
Jamie? Live the rest of your life in the mountains with those people?
They're my friends! If you don't leave me alone, I'll shoot you! I swear it!
What are you talking about? You ain't no killer.
You don't know who I am!
Yeah.
Run into the cutscene.
Please, Arthur! I'm a man
It's
now.
amazing that
I've
Arthur
found
hands
something. A
the
calling.
revolver back to
Just a
Jamie
kid.
after
You're
what he
making a big
does.
mistake.
I'm not taking advice from you. You're an outlaw. You leave
Also,
me
I
alone.
guarantee
They're
GTA
good
6 will
people.
not have a scene
I'm
like
warning
this,
you, Arthur Morgan.
where they show
Leave me
attempted
alone.
self-deletion.
Please, kid,
That's
put that gun down.
basically forbidden
I warn you, Arthur. I'm.
in the new world order that we live in,
I
that
don't
we
wanna
find
live
ourselves in.
anymore.
Kid, just calm down.
Leave
That's
me
one of the reasons why
alone.
I love Batman Arkham Knight, because it's just so much better than what is available today. There you go. Pow. Don't worry about shooting his hand. You won't. See, he hands it back.
Let's go see your sister.
And depending on where he hit that Papa One, I don't think that would work anymore. Or, you know, the alignment would be off. Or, you know, it's like first time Jamie fires it, what if it just explodes in his hand?
Have I been a terrible fool, Arthur?
I don't know. I don't know enough about
Miko
it.
says Jamie's and Mrs. Downs Morgan's are the fastest horses in the game.
Ain't no shame in looking for a better.
Yeah, they are pretty darn
I
fast.
missed you, Arthur.
Papa One says not
you
thoroughbred
and I
race
sweet on one
fast
another again?
for the Tennessee Walkers and Morgans, but fast. The Kentucky Saddler is actually a racehorse. In Red Dead 1, Kentucky Saddlers were actually the best you could get. They murked our poor Kentucky Saddlers in Red Dead Redemption 2. Okay, jump off the horse with Jamie, run away, run back to the horse as fast as you can, and leave Jamie. And he will follow on the horse you are riding on. Watch this. It's magic. And as far as I know, I thought of this. What's that about?
It's been a long
There.
time, Jamie.
Where'd he get that horse?
You were a kid last time I saw you.
What's that about?
Didn't
And it's a
try to kill
male.
yourself.
Also, he has the mohawk. The interesting thing, we will get a dishonor ding because the game treats this as a stolen horse.
So,
Mom one says Jamie could have just kept riding and got away. He's an 1899 emo moody teenager and a smelly hippie.
well, apparently.
Joined a cult. GTA Legends, greetings, friend. Says hello, Super Antonio. How are you doing? I'm doing quite well, friend.
You'd fall
Thanks for
it.
watching.
Why are we stopped? They were very nice to me. They're decent.
Papa one says he would have messed up the alignment firing pin and could possibly blow up
Please tell
if he
me
tries to shoot it, but it could possibly be fixable. The only way to definitely damage it would have been Arthur's bullet would have went into the barrel and it would have forever jammed the gun and blew up in his hand due to the other bullets and
One day,
gunpowder.
dead in the water.
Mama one says, what's Mailbow to see his name? Yeah, I would give him a Roman name.
Shut up. All Father kept telling me was, you
Or, you know, an English king, perhaps?
You're not
An
enough
English
of a
Celtic
man.
king?
I had to get away. I couldn't take it anymore.
What was that king in
Forgive me,
Vikings,
but
Ethelred?
Your father's a bully and a coward. Don't listen.
And Miko says, hello, GTA Legends. And Mama One, he doesn't have a name right now, but if you R1 him, he is he's just a liver chestnut Hungarian half-bred. Bodicea is confused.
What do you want me to
Look
say,
at those two.
Jamie? He's a good father.
It's like looking in a mirror.
Man,
He won't be happy.
Mom wants to name him Nero or
please
Claudius.
send him my worst regards.
Nero's a good name.
The thing is, he's right. I'm not good at anything.
Come on, that ain't true. Tell me something you like.
Joker and Batman
Don't think too hard.
Arkham Knight accuses Batman of fiddling while Gotham burns. Or maybe Riddler does that. Taking some pictures for the thumbnail, but we didn't really use that one. I should have. The light's better, but I didn't like how Arthur was turned back. Papa One says Bodicea 1 is so confused by Nero. Bodicea probably thinking she took acid and is having a trip.
All right, go work in an orchard then.
By that token, you must
Or
really like shooting
she
them
ate
off
some
people.
ergot wheat. Ergot is a hallucinogenic fungus
Run away from me when I'm trying to
that
help.
grows on wheat.
Father told me what you do.
How do I know that? I just watched it last night on
Are you
Clarkson's
still
farm.
with Dutch and what was his name? Hester?
Hosea, yep, still the same.
I retain all
And
sorts of
Annabelle and Bessie?
basically
I'm afraid
useless
they're
information,
Shit.
but you benefit
Maybe
from it
Mary did make the right
because I have a
choice.
lot of useless information
Doubt.
about this game that
None of it
you
is anything
fortunately
like
find
the
useful.
nonsense you read in the newspapers.
So, are you two getting back together?
I told you, no. Just ask me for a favor.
You know Barry Linton's dead? Pneumonia.
He told me.
So the door's open, so to speak.
That's all in the past. Different people now.
She's not. And you seem just the same.
Well, maybe that right there's a problem.
Achilles
She
would
was
be a good
always
name
too
for
good
for
Let's just get you
Bodicea
back
too.
to your sister. She's waiting at the station for us. Yeah.
Classical Greek hero. I'm sure Arthur read all those, and John. Hosea gave them a classical education.
Go easy, boy.
It's interesting, like Marvel versus DC. It's like Marvel was so dominated by Stan Lee, and I don't know if we have any comic book people in the chat, but I don't think DC had like a dominant personality and artistic vision shaping the franchise like Stan Lee did. Like Marvel is Stan Lee, and Stan Lee is Marvel. But you know, it's like Bob Kane. Yeah, he did Batman. He was like one half, and then Joel Schuster for Superman. But you know, it's like DC evolved more organically, I believe, and I also believe that DC came first. But yeah, I have a completely new appreciation for the Batman universe and franchise.
You're nervous about seeing her, aren't you?
GTA Legend says, have you ever played GTA San Andreas? No, I've only played GTA 5. GTA Legends. And Reven says Hector. Yeah, that's an you know what remembering him from Troy. Hector. That would be a good name.
Jamie! Jamie!
Jamie, my boy.
Come home.
See, Jamie gets a
Please,
hug.
you've-
Arthur barely gets a
Father's been
handshake.
very sad.
Arthur gets
I don't want
nothing.
no sadness
Doesn't
if
get a
he died in his
kiss.
bed.
Just
But
gets
I'll
like
come
an
home
awkward little
for you.
My boy.
shake.
My sweet boy. Come on.
But you know, he got a free horse out of the deal,
Oh,
so
Arthur.
he's not so.
Thank you.
It's not
Thank
like he
you.
got anything. See, he doesn't even take her hand.
And you, Arthur.
Takes her case because he's a
And you.
gentleman. And you, Arthur. But you know, right now Arthur is probably a little more interested in
I've
Mrs. Adler. Hector from Homer's Iliad, Revan 1972
you'll
says.
never
Yes,
change.
Revan, well done.
I know that.
I'm glad we have people who appreciate a classical education in the chat. That's something that's sorely lacking in the modern audience. Not, it's like, and I like to say that all heroic literature can be distilled down to some kind of Greek, back to Greek mythology. Mom one says, will you ever do another Bad Honor gameplay? Probably not, Mama one. Just because I honestly didn't enjoy it. It's like there are no news stories. What Joseph Campbell called the hero with 1,000 faces. It's like, it's like, and we recycle all these plots over and over again, and all the superhero plots, all the Marvel movies, I'm sure can be distilled back into into the essence of the plot, into a Greek legend. And the Greeks weren't the first. The Greeks were the first to put it down in writing. And here's our second horse. We bonded him to level 1+1. No, we bonded him to temp horse. +1. So we get the temp horse icon. Take a little more pictures. Mom once says, could you attempt a train robbery during a free roam in one of these episodes? I hate doing those because the horse follows. Yeah, I could. But we'd have to, keep the horse at home. We'd have to, walk to the train station.
Yeah, okay, boy.
Yeah, why not? I'll write it down. Train rob, M1. GTA Legend says, I play Red Dead Redemption 2. Arthur Morgan is my favorite character. I love him. Same here. GTA Legends. Train rob. You know how you have to shoot 3 birds off a train or 5 birds off a train? That used to be super challenging as well. We could do that and then just jump down and rob the train and see what happens. Revan says, I believe that the Iliad is the greatest thing ever written, followed by the Odyssey.
Who goes there? It's Arthur.
Well, it's certainly the first and a pillar of Western civilization, and everything derives from it. And it's amazing that it still exists.
Good evening.
How old is that? It's got to be at least 2,000. Iliad age. Iliad age. 2,000, 3,000 years old. I knew a girl. 2,700 years old. 750 to 700 BC. And she was studying ancient Greece, so she could read the Bible in the the original Greek, but also she also read the Iliad. Yeah, massive, super Christian. I'm afraid I was her fall from grace. And I apologize. Mama One, that I led a nice Christian girl astray. I was selfish, and I don't regret it. Life is for living, and we both had fun, and she's married with 2 kids now, so she's happy. Mama one says, I would love to know what the gang thinks of Arthur having Boadicea and her exactly identical twin. What have you been doing outside of camp, Mr. Morgan? Yeah, look at those blazes. And this is what I settled on, even though we got the setting sun for the thumbnail. That's about all I have for you tonight, friends. Appreciate you hanging out with me. Shout out to the mods, Mama One and Miko Herptile and Papa One. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. We shall return tomorrow night. We'll make Sadie come back. We shall return tomorrow night with The Last of Us. Then we'll have a Batman Arkham Knight live stream on Sunday. Papa One says she's married and you get the privilege of being her dirty little secret. Super Antonio. Hopefully, Papa One, she's forgotten about me and I'm just an awkward teenage memory. Well, not teenage. It was like we were in our 20s. So an awkward episode in her 20s. Her fall from grace. My apologies, friends. I'm a much more, I wouldn't say innocent, but moral YouTuber now. Thank you for watching. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Like and subscribe. We shall return tomorrow night. I apologize, Mama One. Sadie, poor Sadie's embarrassed. What's that about? Thanks for watching. I'll leave the chat open for a little bit, and you guys can talk amongst yourselves, and we'll see you tomorrow night. See you soon, friends.
It's good to be back. I even missed you. You old bastard. And I missed the good.
Miss O'Shea, dance with me.
Of course, Dutch.
Will you dance with me, Arthur?
Sure, but I ain't much of a dancer. Look at me, with the belle of the ball.
Stop it, you. See, Arthur, it's okay to dance. Doesn't mean we won't stop thinking you're angry and sad.
What you think of me?
Sad in a good way, like a romantic poet.
Well, that's about all I can muster. see if we're still... Reverend?
Hello.
Hello. What do you want?
I'm not quite sure. Oh, this keeps happening.
How are you doing, Mrs. Adler?
Not really in the party mood.
I understand. Sean will make your life hell when he finds out you're an O'Driscoll.
Oh, great.
Just be grateful you're alive.
I sing a merry song, the wide, wide world I wander over. Oh, with a light, light heart I roll along. Oh, with a light, light heart I roll along. The good earth loves the wild free rover, for a roving bird is never dumb. He sings to please the dear old mother, and she aye rewards him with a crumb. Oh, I'm a wild free rover, I sing a merry song, the wide, wide world I wander over, and a light, light heart I roam along. Oh, with a light, light heart I roam along.
Hosea.
Hey, Arthur.
Well, he's back.
As loud a mouth as ever.
Ah, you can talk. Suddenly you seem much better, Marston.
Don't feel too sudden to me.
Just when the drinks come out. Anyway, I won't disturb you.
Yeah?
Your fellow
Yeah,
countryman
whatever.
returns.
Apparently.
Well, enjoy.
Make your living off a ring-dang-doo. The ring-dang-doo, now what is that? It's something around like a pussycat. Got a hole in the middle and a split in two. And that's what you call a ring-dang-doo. Hey. She went off to be a whore. Hung this sign upon her door. $1 each, 3 for 2. Crack it, a ring-dang-doo. And a ring-dang-doo, now what is that? It's soft and round like a pussycat. Got a hole in the middle and a split